Big Tractor Power fans. I'm at the 2020 National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm here with Dave Long from Case IH, and we're going to take a look at a brand new tillage implement coming out from Case IH that I think a lot of people are going to like to get ground covered in a hurry. So Dave, what can you tell us about the new machine that we have here at the show?
Hey, you bet. Yeah, so here at the National Farm Machinery Show, we're launching our new speed tiller. We have a 475 here on the lot, but in the speed tiller line we offer two different models. We offer a 465, which is our 3-point mounted model. It's available in 9 different sizes. They range from 5.7 feet up to 18 feet. And then again, like I said, here at the show we have our 475. It's a trailing type disc, and it's available in 3 different sizes: 21, 31, and 41 foot.
Oh, it looks like an impressive machine. You mind if we take a look at some of the blades here and what it does?
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Like I said, we're excited about the 475. We think we have a lot to offer our customers in this product segment. And with the speed tiller, some of the things that we feel like we do different, is we've really taken a look at the agronomy of the machine, and not just the surface finish, but a little deeper dive in what's that whole soil profile look like, what's that seedbed floor look like, because that's one of the things that we had looked at. We just weren't really happy with, once we moved the surface soil away, and what was going on down underneath, at operating depth. So some of the things that we do different, let me kind of talk you through that to help you understand what makes the speed tiller a little bit different.
So we were going to talk about the advantage of, some of the advantages that you get from a compact high-speed disc like this 475.
Yeah, you bet, Jason. So one of the things that we feel like we really do different with the speed tiller is really paying attention to that whole soil profile from the surface finish down to the seedbed floor and everything in between. And one of the things we do that's different there is we really took a look and have an understanding of the indexing of the blades, the relationship of the blades, from the front row of the blades to the back row of the blades. How do they interact with each other, and what effect does that have on the tillage operation and on the soil, the soil surface, the seedbed floor. So to kind of walk you through some of the things that we do a little different that provide us those opportunities. So with the speed tiller, you can see here that in our torsion rubbers, we use a 2-inch torsion rubber. That's the largest in the industry. Gives us a lot of holding force in this, because one thing that will affect the seedbed floor is blade movement. And in the high-speed disc, the blades are able to move by design. If you hit an obstruction, if you have some rocks in your field, we want to be able to deal with those, not damage the machine, and keep up our productivity. So it's able to move, but still maintain that consistent and uniform disc depth at speed.
And what kind of speeds is it recommended to run this at?
Absolutely. So one of the things about the high-speed disc, higher speed and higher productivity. So with the speed tiller, we're looking at a speed range from 7 mile an hour to 12 mile an hour. So quite a range. And one of the things, because of the way that we orient our disc and the design that we put into our disc, we feel like that we can effectively provide our customers a uniform output, whether we're at the lower end of that range or up at the higher end of that range. So we have the higher torsions. We're going to keep our blades, at depth, at speed. And then the other thing that we do is, you can see in the mounting of our front row of blades, we have mounting slots here to where this is laterally adjustable. We have a turnbuckle here that can allow us to move it, because with the speed tiller we have an option of either 22-inch or 24-inch blades. And so depending on what blade size you have, that can affect the relationship of how those blades land front to back. And we want to make sure that those blades land so that we get full soil engagement and full breakout, and we don't have any gaps. So we can adjust the speed tiller to what size blade that we have. Another advantage we have there is, as we know, after you run the machine for a year or two, depending on how many acres you run, a 22-inch blade is going to be something smaller than that after a while.
Right.
And so if we get into that situation, we start to see some weed escapes, or you start to notice that your seedbed floor isn't as good as it was. This gives us the ability to adjust for that blade wear, to bring those blades back into an index position, to get that uniform, consistent seedbed floor and uniform soil movement throughout the depth range of the tillage that you're doing. Another thing that we do to ensure that we keep those blades indexed front to back to where we're getting the best output out of the machine is going back to these torsion rubbers. You can see that these torsion rubbers touch each other. They're always touching something, and that is so that this mount can stay in the same position, because if you leave gaps in these torsion rubbers, it's going to allow these to float and move back and forth around, and that's something that we had noticed was going on with some of the machines in the industry that we wanted to try to avoid. So,
and I imagine having this, I've also noticed the blades are individually mounted. They're not on on an axle or like a regular disc. So if you cruise along at 12 miles per hour and you hit a rock, it's going to go over it rather than bending it up or taking all the blades out of the ground.
Absolutely. A lot of advantages to an individually mounted blade. That's one of them. For protection of obstructions, especially in rocky areas. The other thing that an individually mounted blade provides us is just a lot of residue flow capability. You don't have that spool that you would have in there with a gang. Wet weather performance and carrying wet soil through. It'll flow a lot more wet soil. And of course, in those rocky conditions, if you would happen to damage a blade, bend or break one from hitting a big rock, very easy to service. Where within a gang machine, you have to
bend everything.
tear the whole gang down. Quite a job to replace a blade. Easy serviceability. And we're able to operate, like I said, 7 to 12 mile an hour. We're also able to operate at a fairly wide range of depths too, from 1 to 6 inches. So, we see this as a very versatile tool, a dual season tool, something we can use, at those deeper depths where we want to bury residue in the fall. Maybe do some leveling, from here in the last couple of years we've had a lot of that to do with the kind of springs and falls that we've had, and ruts out there from sprayers, from combines, from various different operations we do in the field. So we can get to those depths to level those fields
6 inches.
out.
That's kind of what a moldboard plow used to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It does amaze me. I have a friend in New York State that has this machine, and they were moldboard plowing, disking, and field cultivating up until 5 years ago, and this has replaced all of that. One pass, get a nice mellow seed bed, and they're planting vegetables and dry beans, and it's perfect for it.
Absolutely. Our customers are looking for the versatility, the productivity. We want to deliver that, but we want to deliver that also provides them, the right agronomy, the right seed bed, the right amount of residue management that they're looking for. And we think by the way we're putting our components together that we talked about in our ground engagement components, that we can provide that. And to be able to do this, over time, at depth speed, we need those rugged components. And so when we look at the hub and bearing assemblies on the speed tiller, we do some things different here as well. We're using dual tapered roller bearings, and so with roller bearings, it gives us a lot more bearing surface area. and the taper also gives us the ability to have a lot of torsional load, which, you know, when you're running at depth, at speed with these implements, you really need that. And this is, you know, versus a ball bearing setups that you'll see in some other applications. So very robust, very heavy bearing assemblies on each one of these blades as well.
And it looks like it has a pretty heavy duty frame, just looking here, large wheels and tires. And
absolutely, you know, a very robust chassis. And you know, this chassis and all the ground engagement components, you know, the speed tiller heritage really comes to us from Australia. You know, Case IH had the great opportunity to purchase a company called K-Line Ag, leading tillage manufacturer in Australia, and the speed tiller is really that Aussie tough implement, from the chassis to the ground engaging and all the components that go into it.
And with the ground engagement, I noticed that the disc blades are angled in different directions. So how is it moving the soil when we're looking at the profile down here between the blades?
Yeah. So in the profile of blades, you're really using a compound angle to engage that soil. So with a high-speed disc configuration, you know, you get a lot of soil action, and so it gives you the ability to really, you know, bury a lot of residue. And the configuration of the high-speed disc with the front row blades really in pretty close proximity to the rear row blades. When you watch one run in the field, you know, that soil is still moving off the front blades when it engages the rear blades, and it catches them, and it really gives you a lot of mixing action to get that soil and residue mixed together, to anchor that residue, to get that soil in contact with that residue, get that microbial action started to break down that residue, which is, as you know, a lot of our residue today is pretty tough.
It is. It's, where I live, we go from corn to winter wheat and then double crop beans in it, and then next year when you're planting corn again, there's still, you can see a lot of corn left in the wheat stubble and the beans.
Absolutely, very persistent.
I'd like to just take a look at the side here just to show that profile and the mixing action. So we can see the blades, how it comes in one direction and throws the dirt back. And then what kind of options, I guess, just working our way back here, do you have on the finishing?
Yeah, so we have three different options on the back of the speed tiller, and we have the same options whether it's a speed tiller 465 or 475. But we have the spring basket like we have on this 475, and then we also have a more traditional round bar basket, and then we also have a rubber roller as well.
Okay.
So in each one of those, designed to fit a different situation. The spring roller like we have on this 475 here today, I would recommend that in some areas where I have some heavier, stickier soils that would tend to have some moisture in them when I'm wanting to work. The traditional roller basket is more my general purpose. My more loamier soils, and then the rubber roller. If I was running in some heavier sandy soils, those lighter soils, that might be my option there.
Well, I know it's good to firm that seed bed up and leave it good and smooth for the planter to come behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that as one of our applications, in seed bed preparation.
I was filming at a farm last spring when it was so wet, and they used a field cultivator work up the ground, and then it rained on it again, and they had a Case IH planter, no-till, but it left a lot of ridges, and I was watching that planter, just as it hit the ridges, it was dropping seed but not getting into the ground. So I can imagine having this kind of finish is much better.
Right, and so that's a key thing when we're going out there, and we really want to set the stage with our tillage tools to give our planters the best opportunity to perform the way that they were designed to. And that's really why we want to look at not just the surface of the soil, because that's important as well, but that seedbed floor can also affect that planter ride quality, and planter ride quality affects the accuracy of my seed drop, just like you had mentioned, and so we really want to be able to manage that whole seedbed profile, and we feel like we can do that with the speed tiller.
And I see there's some hydraulics back here, so can you adjust how much you're firming the soil?
Yeah, and that's one of the unique things on the speed tiller, that we do a little bit different than other high-speed discs. A lot of high-speed discs, you are required to have the finishing, the rolling basket assembly, on the ground all the time. But with the speed tiller, we have the opportunity. We can manage how we want to use that, because in setting the depth and the level on the speed tiller, we do that two different ways. We set the depth of the speed tiller with the cylinders on the mainframe carrying tires.
Okay.
But then we set the levelness and the tilt of the speed tiller by using our large tilt cylinder here on the top. You can see that has a single point depth control on that, to where I can set my level there with that, instead of using my finishing attachment on the back. So if I get into a situation where I get into some wet soil, and we tend to want to plug up my finishing attachment on the back, I can take that pressure off of it without affecting the levelness or the depth of my speed tiller. Another application that we've seen for this as well, and we were a little surprised by this, in the fact that in some of the high-speed discs that we saw, they look very heavy and robust, but we just couldn't get them in the ground. Couldn't get the penetration we felt we could in hard fall soils. But with the requirement of having to have that rear roller on the ground to gauge the depth of the back end of the machine, it was carrying so much weight, we had a lot of unusable weight for penetration of the blades. So with the speed tiller, because we're controlling the fore and aft depth with our tilt cylinder, if we need the penetrating ability, we can lift that basket up, we can get the full weight of the machine on the blades to penetrate into hard soils.
Well, I really appreciate all the information, and I guess I just had one more question: is what
Yes.
kind of transport width when this is folded up? When you have a 41-foot model or 31, what is it?
Yeah, so we got great transport widths. With this 21-foot model, we're under 3 meters. The 31 and 41, they're 3-section models, but you're under 16 feet, even on a 40.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
I know I've followed some of the true turbos that are 17 feet going down the road, and it's tight, so that's great to be that narrow.
Exactly.
Well, Dave, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and explaining this, and I'm looking forward to seeing one out in the field this spring.
Great. Yeah, we're excited about the speed tiller. We think it offers a lot of advantages in the marketplace, and will provide solutions for our customers.
And I imagine if someone wants to see one of these or try it out, talk to their Case IH dealer and set up a demonstration. Or...
Absolutely. So the speed tillers are going to start showing up at our Case IH dealers in April and May of this year. And encourage our customers to go see your Case IH dealer and ask about the speed tiller.
Sounds good. Well, I'm looking forward to filming one.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, thanks a lot.